and Republicans are still pushing alternatives. But did the president get the memo?
They had some better ideas. I've already told them I'm happy to hear them. But I haven't heard any so far.
The reason why the opponents of this law throughout have never been able to actually offer a better alternative. Right? Initially they said they would, but they didn't. At least they used to say, well, we're going to replace it with something better. There's not even a pretense now that they're going to replace it with something better.
Republican Congressman from Pennsylvania, Mike Kelly, is a co-sponsor of one Obamacare alternative. Congressman, welcome to the program.
Stuart, thanks for having me.
It's a complex deal, replacing Obamacare.
Absolutely.
Can I run through the main points that I think you're getting at here? Number one, tort reform. Number two, you can get any insurance policy from any insurance company anywhere in the nation.
Right.
Number three, you can take your policy with you when you leave a job. And number four, no mandates.
That's correct. And
that's basically your plan.
And we address health savings accounts, which makes a lot of sense to a lot of Americans. Now, the president, I think he thinks if he says it often enough and long enough and loud enough, people will listen to him. But I do think now we realize the emperor has no clothes. And we're looking at this and we're saying, this just isn't working, Mr. President. And we've been going and talking to him. But he's a tough guy to talk to. Because if you're not speaking his language, he doesn't hear you.
Right back on day one, before the legislation was passed in the first place, weren't you recommending tort reform, which is a mainstay of your current plan?
Well, absolutely. Because, listen, we want everybody protected from bad practices. But by the same token, these frivolous lawsuits drive the cost off the charts. And you know, and I know, this was never about health care for people. This is about insurance for people. There's a huge difference. We have the best health care in the world. Now they just have to have access to it, and it has to be affordable. We've done things that make common sense approaches to making it everyday Americans to be able to go to sleep at night, put your head in a pillow, and know you're covered. We've got you covered, and that's what we're there for. That's our job. If we can't do that, we shouldn't be in Washington.
You have a plan.
Absolutely.
The congressional Republicans, you've got a plan, and the president says you don't have a plan. Well, you've got one.
Well, we've got a plan. It's the American Health Care Reform Act. You can go to kelly.house.gov. Now, that's a website you can get on, and you can read the information. It's all there. It's been there for a long time. We've tried to be driving this message, but again, this doesn't fit the president's narrative. This has nothing to do with the president or his personality. This has to do with his performance. We have failed miserably in Washington to provide one of the key things that we have to have as parents. Listen, I took care of my parents as they got older. You've got to have that ability to sit down and be able to discuss those things. And there's no one-size-fits-all. That's the beauty of our plan. We allow people to choose what's best for them.
Now, during the commercial break, I was talking to you.
Yes.
You have an example of someone, a constituent of yours, who is in a real mess because of Obamacare. Tell our viewers that story.
Well, you know, when I go home to Butler, there's a little restaurant that I eat at, Natilli's. It's a fourth-generation place, great Italian food. Cindy waits on me all the time. Now, the last time I was in with my wife, she said, Mike, can I talk to you about something? I hate to interrupt your dinner, but you know what? I am really torn. My husband's company no longer is going to cover me. They're just going to cover him.
That's because of Obamacare?
Because of Obamacare. And she says, now I have to go out and get my own insurance. I checked. It's going to cost me $780 a month. I can't work enough hours. I can't generate enough tips to pay for that. So I told them that, and they said, we'll get you a cheaper policy, $350 a month. Here's the kicker, Stuart, $11,500 deductible and a 70-30 reimbursement. So insurance will pick up 70% of it. She has to pick up 30%. She says, essentially, I have no insurance. And you know what? Cindy's right. And there's 250,000 Pennsylvanians that are finding out they no longer have health care. And I'm an automobile dealer. Next year, I've got to come back and come up with a plan that makes sense for the people that I've worked with for the last 60-some years. And my dad started our business. One of the things we had a hallmark, we took care of our associates. This Obamacare makes it impossible for us to maintain the great relationship we had with the people that worked with us and tried to keep our customers happy. It's a terrible thing to do to the American people.
Mike Kelly, Republican, Pennsylvania, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Stuart.
Our best to your
and Merry Christmas
to Tilly, is it?
Yes, Natilli's.
Our best. Okay. All right, thanks very much.